These are the most banners of all time, and I think that is the nicest way I can word this. Yeah, let's get right into it. As you see right here, we obviously knew the 5 stars were Chiori and Itto. That's fine. We'll get to my thoughts on the 5 stars in a moment. But the 4 stars are Dori, Goru, and Yunjin. Yunjin's great. W, C6 Yunjin. Mwah, chef's kiss. Problem is getting to C6 on a banner like this. I'm at C5, and I really, really wanted to get her C6. I am not rolling for this. It is not if I see a Dory on my account, I will uninstall and stop playing this game. Like what? Like Dory out of all people? Dory, it is what it is. I don't like Dory. If you like Dory, I love that for you. I'll probably get hit with some weird, no, actually, Dory's really great in this Hyperboom team that I made on my free-to-play account. I love that for you. Not here. Get that out of here. Goru is literally okay. I mean, Goru's good with Itto. But at the same time, I personally feel like Itto has lost tons of value since Navia's release, which we'll get to in a bit. We're also going to make a video covering Itto later in the week. But, yeah, man, this is something. This is something. I don't think there's a problem with a dead patch, right? A dead patch. But I'm very curious as to why, or I just think the thought process behind this is a little weird. And we're going to get to the weapons in the Chronicle in a minute. But I think the thought process of putting 2 5-star Geo people, maybe they've done this before, I don't know, putting 2 5-star Geo characters back to back on the same banner with mainly 2 Geo supports and then Dory, I don't know what Dory here is doing here again, is weird. Because Geo is a different play style. The element is not what it could be. I mean, realistically, I think we all complain and are not happy with the spot Geo is in, although Navia has definitely brought some credibility to Geo and put some respect on that name, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Taylor Swift. But it's not a situation where, like, Chiori, for example, is someone like Albebo. And, although I don't like Albebo, I think he's annoying. I think he's the drizzling shits, and I would never roll for him. I do know you can roll and you can use Albebo in non-mono Geo teams. Dude, with Chiori's kit, her whole thing is she needs a Geo construct to get another tomato or constellations. And so it's like, it's a hard comparison because, like, if I had to pick as someone who wants to roll, do I roll for Chiori to go on the Chronicle banner? Low key, bro, just get Albebo. Like just get Albebo and go for the weapon. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. We get into the kid a little bit more. Like, it just is underwhelming. She doesn't feel like a 5-star. She does not feel like a 5-star, and the fact that she needs a construct to get a buff like this for something that already I just don't think looks really good is a little disappointing, man. This is going to be the first character L from Fontaine that we've had. I think all the other characters, Nervalette, Linny, Lynette, even Fremine, all of them have been top tier. They've been great, and they've been interesting. This one's a miss. I think this one's a hard miss. I could 100% eat my words, and she might be the new meta, but I just don't see it happening. I also don't like the plunge mechanic where you can go in the air and then you can swap to a different character, and then that'll allow the puppets to attack, like, simultaneously because, you swapped. It's like, dude, I just got off of using Farina earlier today, and those little homies that Farina summons are ruthless. Those little shitheads attack and attack and attack and attack, and they don't stop fucking attacking. They just go at it. These little Geo puppets are sitting there, and we watch in this description. Watch, they're going to summon the Geo puppets. They did 1 attack. 2 attacks. They've been standing there for a while. Like, am I bugging? Am I the only one who thinks, like, this is just not it? But whatever. You want to go for Chiori? Dope. If we can get an account, we'll probably do more in-depth review of it, but not a fan. Going to Itto, man. I think Itto is a good character. I love Itto. I mean, he's allergic to beans. That's my whole thing, bro. Bean squad and shit. But I got to keep it a buck, man. I personally have lost any value and really interest in using Itto since I have Navia, because I don't like the restrictive playstyle of having to use mono Geo. The lack of reactions makes it boring. I don't like Albebo. I don't like playing Goru. I really don't like any of them other than Yunjin, Zhongli, and Navia. So I just think it's weird putting these 2 back to back. Like, this is probably going to be a low selling banner. I wouldn't be surprised if this is going to probably flop and then, You got the Genshin haters coming. Hey, Genshin is dead now because this banner didn't do 40 million. Like, well, they're not wrong. I mean, the game's not gonna die, but like, I don't get the thought process behind it. I just think it's weird, bro. I think it's a very weird move, and I would rather them put like Nuvolette first half or like Kaza second half, because the second banner just blows this one out the water in every way possible. Nervalette's a better DPS. Nuvolette's one of the best DPSs in the game. And Kazuha is the best support in the game and could really be a DPS in himself. So I feel like they should have switched it up. I think this order and their timing on this is just not where it's at. So this is, again, the most banner of all time. The positive thing I will say is her weapon is cracked. Her weapon is very good. And I think this could work on a plethora of characters, especially if you don't have signature weapons. Here's where it gets tricky, though. Are you going to pull this and then get 2 red horns by accident instead? I fucking hope not, because red horn. But this is crazy. So 88.2 crit damage. Normal attack damage is increased by 16%, and elemental skills increased by 24%. After a nearby active Geo character or active Geo damage, the aforementioned effects increase by 100% for 5 seconds. And then they get 20% defense. The way I am reading this is that I can have a Zhongli pillar out and then swap to the other person who's holding this weapon and get a buff. So, from how I'm interpreting this, it seems broken. Maybe not broken, but it seems very, very good and very, very useful. And it seems more well-rounded and more universal and versatile than Chiori herself. So again, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm excited. I don't know if I'm going to roll for this. I really don't want a red horn. You know, and for people who don't know what red horn does, defense is increased by 28%. Normal and charge attack damage is increased by 40% of defense. I mean, hey man, you know, it's a weapon. You know, it's definitely not the worst thing in the world, but it does have crit damage. You know, it does have crit damage, which is nice. Obviously that's always a plus, but yeah, the passive isn't the best. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It's gonna be a skip. And then we did do a video covering the Chronicle. We did do a video covering the Chronicle banner. If you want my full thoughts on that, there's the video on that on the channel. Me personally, man, I think if you want Chiori, you might as well just roll Albedo. Albedo doesn't technically need Mono Geo, and Albedo could genuinely provide buffs to a much wider variety of teams. At least that is my assumption. Again, could I be wrong? There's a possibility I could be wrong. But Albedo's probably a much more versatile unit, and you can get the Chiori weapon for Albedo. Now Albedo has a signature weapon. It's not the centered bar spindle anymore, or whatever it was called. It's this. So, yeah, man. I mean, this banner in itself is a whole different discussion. I mean, this being introduced, my thing is like, it's cool. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's not the best thing in the world. It is what it is. But yeah, that's the first half, man. I don't know. How are you feeling about it? What do we think? I want my father is true. You know, I mean, I definitely was hoping for some daddy Ziox that left my ass off. That's a mood. Yeah. I don't know. I'm skipping. I wouldn't recommend rolling on this for either one of them. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think this benefits a person who plays OD unless you really, really love Geo. Like, you know, if you play as much as me and you're grinding like that, if you want to use Geo units, by all means go for this. But I don't think this benefits people who aren't really the biggest fan of Geo, and I don't think this benefits free-to-play people as well as just casual players. I don't think either one of these characters are going to benefit your account, especially when you have Nuvolette and Kazuha right around the corner and potentially Arlecchino. No, I'm good. But I love you. Roast me in the comments. I got you in a bit.